14th Circuit Solicitor's Office Investigator Dylan Hightower is still on the clock, but there are just some workdays when he simply must slip on the headphones and retreat into his world of hip-hop.
There are some pretty bad rappers out there, but ultimately you still have to listen to the lyrics. But yes, there are some actually really good ones that I thoroughly enjoy listening to. And I've always had a passion, like I said, for music.
But Hightower isn't cyberloafing. Social media is where his passion for music and his passion for law enforcement intersect.
This is Gary Broughton. We call him K Blacka. He's the leader of the Cowboys. He was obviously a part of the RICO case.
In 2016, Colleton County residents found themselves in the crossfire of a gang war between the Cowboys and the Wild Boys. The formerly allied groups turned violently against each other after a conflict at a mixed party ended with a hail of gunfire and one gang member dead.
And it was affecting the community because various innocent bystanders were also getting consumed in the violence.
Both gangs were involved in drug trafficking and other conspiracies that might qualify them for prosecution in federal court through a 14th Circuit Solicitor's Office partnership with the U.S. Attorney's Office.
From a state standpoint, it would have taken us years to be able to prosecute all those people, all those individuals.
That's because the state of South Carolina doesn't have the equivalent of the Federal Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, better known as RICO, which can be used to prosecute the mob, gangs, and other ongoing criminal enterprises. In many cases, federal courts offer other advantages over state court in South Carolina, among them an investigative grand jury and more stern penalties for gun and drug violations. But even with its unique partnership with the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Solicitor's Office cannot simply drag a defendant into federal court on a whim. And that's where Hightower's analysis of those YouTube videos comes into play.
At a proven enterprise. And basically that means two or more people who are acting in concert. And Dylan's part in this entire process was just, immense.
One thing you want to do is identify, who they're hanging out with. You want to identify associates, the vehicles they're in, the houses they're hanging out in, the areas of the town that they're hanging out in. And once you start identifying that, you can start running with it and start doing some proactive stuff out in the street, trying to identify where they're at, what they're doing. There's a lot of information you can obtain off the social media. Well, first thing I want to know is I want to know who everyone is. So I go in and I try and identify every single person.
K Blacka wasn't the only Cowboys gang member in that video. Christopher Brown, also known as Cowboy Ruggish, and Deshaun Brown, also known as Shawnee, appeared as well. So did William Lamont Cox and Clyde Naquan Hampton. Clothing is another useful identifier.
So here, everyone uses the American flag. That's their colors. So a lot of people in the community think that they're representing, America, when ultimately that's their gang colors.
With several Cowboys flashing gang signs, mocking law enforcement, and appearing together in the video, Hightower was able to help the Solicitor's Office and the U.S. Attorney's Office bolster their point. These men are involved in an organized criminal enterprise. By the end of 2017, 14 members of the Cowboys and Wild Boys were convicted of RICO and other federal charges. 10 received prison sentences of 7 years or longer.
Without Dylan's social media prowess and with him finding the YouTube videos, the social media, the Facebook posts, all those things played an integral part, and we could not have proven the enterprise, I don't believe, without that.
YouTube videos can do more than simply help qualify certain defendants for federal prosecution. Hip-hop and rap videos are sometimes part of gangs' actual criminal enterprises, a way to launder money or build connections in cities like Atlanta, Georgia, which is a major drug trafficking hub. The song's lyrics can also make reference to unsolved crimes.
These guys rap about real stuff, so you have to pay attention to what they say because they can tell you a lot. You can paint a picture.
YouTube and other social media platforms serve gangs in several ways.
Criminals are continuously using social media at various aspects of it to further what they're trying to do, as well as recruit other gang members and things like that.
This appeal is not confined to urban areas that the public typically associates with gang activity. 14th Circuit Solicitor Duffy Stone began building his intelligence unit in about 2010, at a time when gangs were becoming particularly problematic in rural Hampton County. He went to the South Carolina State Law Enforcement Division seeking advice, and they introduced him to a young intern with an interest in gang intelligence. His name was Dylan Hightower. Hightower finished his training at SLED, then was hired on at the Solicitor's office to help begin building the intel team.
Putting all of that in, it shows you, I think, a really good picture of how important technology and intelligence-led prosecution is, I think, today. I think it's something that every prosecutor's office doesn't use it, but I'm convinced that 10 years from now, every prosecutor's office will use it because it's something that has helped almost every case that we've prosecuted in the past 5 or 6 years.
The 14th Circuit Solicitor's Office Intelligence Unit performs 3 important functions. The first, ascertaining defendants' criminal histories as new arrests are made and assigning their cases to the appropriate prosecutorial team. The second, preparing court exhibits and assuring prosecution witnesses appear to testify. And the third, assisting law enforcement in their investigations by gathering information from social media and law enforcement databases, extracting information from cell phones and cell phone records, and exposing the connective tissue that differentiates criminal enterprises from random criminal acts. Knowing where to look can make all the difference.
And one of my favorite stories to explain how all of this works, our intelligence unit received a phone call from federal ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. There had been an armed robbery in Colleton County, and they knew a little bit about what happened, but they were particularly interested in what gangs operated in this particular area.
A convenience store clerk was carrying bank deposit bags to her car at the end of her shift when a vehicle came screeching through the parking lot. Bursting from the vehicle were 2 men with shotguns and another with an assault rifle. Terrified, the clerk handed over the deposit bag full of large bills. As quickly as the armed robbers arrived, they sped away again. Having heard from federal authorities that a photo of the robbery's spoils might have been posted to social media, Hightower began scouring public Facebook posts. He was not looking only at the profiles for known gang members, though. He was combing the pages of their friends and family, connections he was aware of only as a result of months of meticulous study. Finally, he found what he was looking for. A photo of a baby boy swaddled in $20 and $100 bills. The picture was posted by the sister of one of the robbery suspects, and it contained a key detail.
But one thing in particular was the types of rubber bands that were actually laying on top of the money. And we were able to talk to that witness, that victim, and ask her, like, you know, is there anything significant about this photo? And we were able to identify those are the rubber bands that she had used to deposit the money and roll it up. So that was pretty crucial when it came to the trial of the case. We were able to include that evidence.
He was able to get all that information to ATF, and they were able to make an arrest and arrested the 2 people that committed the armed robbery. So that's a very good example of how you can use intelligence that is not necessarily knocking down doors and executing search warrants. It's working on the computer. It's researching and having the information about gang activity and things like that, all of which you've gone through. Not only getting information from law enforcement, but also some technology sites and things like that.
I always wanted to be a part of investigations. I always want to work violent crime. Luckily, I was fortunate enough through Solicitor Stone where he gave me that opportunity. He lets me do what makes me happy, what I think is fun.